Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for accepting our newsletter, and it's really great to share what's happening with you guys. And I thought it'd be great just to introduce my sister to you. This is Paula. And
Hi.
hi, how you doing?
Good, thanks. I'm fine.
Yeah, great. And we trained Paula's house church just over a couple of Wednesday evenings last month, didn't we? And we just trained them to share their stories, their 15-second testimony sort of thing. And then we did another session on just how to share the gospel using the 3 circles. And they loved it, didn't they?
Really loved it. We're so
Went
excited.
really well. But then you guys have just moved that on in the last sort of week, really. Do you want to tell us how that went and what has happened as a result?
Yeah, sure. So last Sunday, 7 of us met in our house, in our garden. We prayed together, and then off we went in 2s and a 3 into the harvest. There was a nice little Sunday market going on, and we split up and went to different parts of the town. And we had a brilliant time. We were out for an hour. We came back and debriefed and shared some stories. So we engaged with about 35 people in 1 hour.
Wow.
We prayed for 26 people, and we shared the gospel with 10 people. So we were very excited about that. Everyone came back buzzing and full of it, and so excited, ready to go again soon.
That's fantastic, isn't it? And just so people realise, like, we're just coming out of lockdown, so potentially people are still quite cautious about having conversations.
Yeah.
But that went okay.
Yeah, I mean, there was one lady who was ready with her mask and her visor, but she ended up just taking them off because people seemed not to be concerned about it at all. Yeah,
right.
It was good. It was really exciting, and we're going to do it again quite soon.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's just amazing. Isn't it great? Just getting into the harvest, meeting people in your own town.
Yeah.
And getting to share the gospel.
It's great.
Is there a story that just sticks in your mind from Sunday?
Yeah, I think so. There was one particular story. It happened to be one of my stories, but that's not because it was me. I think everyone kind of said, wow, that was really amazing. So near to where I live, there's a block of flats. And a couple of years ago, I engaged in conversation a young lady who lived there, talked to her about Jesus. Her dad was a Christian in another town, had been praying for her. Anyway, I haven't spoken to her for a couple of years, but I was waiting on Sunday for the rest of my team to catch up with me. And I just felt the Holy Spirit prompt me just to go and knock on her door and see if see if she wants to talk about Jesus. So I wandered back to my house, and on the way I stopped, and I couldn't get into her flat. So I just knocked on the window, and a guy came out who I didn't recognize. And I said, oh, does so-and-so live here? He said, no, she moved out a couple of years ago. I've lived here since then. So I introduced myself and I said, I love Jesus. I'm a follower of Jesus. We're just out in the community today, just sharing the love of God and talking and praying for people. Can I pray for you? So he said, it's really interesting. I used to go to a church in the city not far from here. Wow. He'd had a rough life. He'd been into drugs and alcohol and rubbish. God had transformed his life, but at this moment in time, he was far from God. It was quite emotional. I clearly felt the presence of God right there in our little conversation. So I said, I'd love to pray for you. Can I pray for you? Yes, please. So we stood on the grass. I said, you know what, right now, you're far from God, but this very moment, you can come near to God again. Wow. And he can change your life and transform your life and bring you healing and salvation. So I said, would you like to do that? He said, I don't even know if I'd like to. I need to do that. So we just stood together and did that. And I arranged to meet him again. And I'm going to go back in a couple of days and meet with him again. And it's amazing. I'm really excited. He lives very close to where we live. So I'm just praying for him. He needs God so much. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is just incredible.
Yeah,
and
a good story.
And the team were encouraged.
So encouraged. Yeah, so encouraged, just really raring to go again. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, isn't it, when you go out at first. and you're kind of looking at your watch thinking, oh gosh, is the hour over yet? Is it nearly finished? But actually, my last conversation was the most powerful in many ways. So I'm glad that I hung out for that last conversation and followed the prompting of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Because I could have just meandered home slowly and walked straight past their apartment, but I didn't. I knocked, and yeah, so that was good. A good lesson.
Yeah, and the harvest truly is plentiful, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
I think Jesus was right.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. That's amazing.
Thanks, Russ.
We'll end there. Cheers.
Cheers.